curious person, and welcome to another video from the Poor Astronomer. And my name is Avantish, and it is the month of January, and you know what? The constellations of the winter night sky are back, and today we'll be exploring the constellation of Orion, specifically photographing the Great Nebula of Orion. And in today's video, we'll not just be doing that, but we'll also explore the hidden gems around the Orion Nebula. So do stick along, because this is going to be a really interesting one. So without any further ado, let's get started. Orion Nebula can be found in the constellation of Orion the Hunter. In the months of December and January, the constellation is nice and high in the sky, making it perfect for stargazing. Of course, it is the best time to look at the nebula as well, because it's nice and high in the sky. So in order to find it, just get outside and look for this constellation. You should be able to see most of the bright stars, and that includes specifically the Orion belt, which is right here, and it's really bright. You can see it even from a light polluted zone. So our target is actually on the bottom Orion's belt, and somewhere between this trapezium shaped structure, which is connected by the stars Rigel and the star Safe. So Rigel is the brighter one, and between this trapezium shaped structure you will see a bunch of faint stars, and right here you have the Orion Nebula. So I'm sure you must have seen this picture of the Orion Nebula, which was taken by the Hubble Space Telescope by NASA. And when you look at it, it looks incredibly colorful, and there's just so much structure to it. It looks really beautiful. It would be a great desktop wallpaper if you ask me. But the question is, the colors you're seeing, is it really the true color of the nebula? If, let's say you were flying in a spaceship and let's say you flew through the nebula, would you really see that beautiful cloud of gas floating in space and you're flying through it? Well, as it turns out, that's not true. The picture you saw right now is an infrared image of the Orion Nebula. So the infrared is beyond the visible spectrum with a much larger wavelength, which you and I can't see, but cameras like infrared cameras or astronomy cameras can see those wavelengths. And the reason why we use other wavelengths of light is simply to study the formation of stars in a much better detail that we can't do in the visible spectrum otherwise. Now, coming back to the image taken with my own telescope, this one is actually a true color image taken with color camera, which captures all the colors in one shot. And you might be wondering, what's special about this image? Well, if you look at it, you can see certain colors, specifically the red color. Now, you might be wondering, why is the nebula red? Is it the true color? And the answer is yes, that's actually the true color of the nebula. That's how the nebula looks like. If our eyes could take an incredibly long exposure of the nebula, we could see the nebula as it was in red color. Now, the red color is actually caused due to the presence of hydrogen. Now, when you do look at the image, you can see lots and lots of stars around it. This is basically an emission nebula where new stars are being born. So when light from these stars actually hit the hydrogen atoms present in the nebula, the electron captures the energy and moves from higher energy level to a lower energy level. So in this case, the electron is moving from the third energy level to the second energy level. So that releases a photon of wavelength 656 nanometers, which corresponds to the color red.
For a
show the final image. Start with a historical image of the Orion Nebula. This is the first ever picture of the Orion Nebula taken by an amateur astronomer. Taken back in 1880 by Dr. Henry Draper from Harvard University. 144 years down the line, here is my image.